Hi, my name is Erin. I'm going to be talking to you about 3 Mile Island. You heard from Dan and Steve, and I'm going to be talking to you about the aftermath. What happened with the evacuation, the committee commission, and the changes that came about because of what happened at 3 Mile Island.
I will talk about the evacuation of the area, the committee commission, factors that made the incident worse, and changes that were made because of what happened at 3 Mile Island. 3 Mile Island Nuclear Power Generating Station is located south of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in Londonderry Township, and had 2 units. The 3 Mile Island incident happened in the early morning hours on March 28, 1979. At about noon on March 30th, the governor advised that pregnant women and school-aged children within a 5-mile radius of 3 Mile Island evacuate the area. Over 200,000 others fled the area voluntarily at that time. The advised evacuation was lifted April 9th, and most residents had returned to their homes by April 30th. Wanting to find out exactly what happened to cause this incident, the president appointed a commission to find out exactly what happened. This commission is known as the Committee Commission. The Committee Commission members evaluated procedures, assessed procedures, analyzed radiation released, examined the emergency plans in place, and interviewed a significantly large number of individuals to get to the bottom of the event. The commission found that equipment failure, operating personnel's failure to recognize the actual conditions, and deficient training that left the operators unprepared for a casualty of this magnitude all played a part in the incident. There were some things that arose to make the incident more severe. Over 100 alarms came in the first few minutes of the incident. The control panel and indicating lights were not well thought out, and in some instances the necessary indications were on the back of the panel, so some indications went unnoticed for quite a while. A large number of the instruments were out of calibration, and the tags hanging on these instruments blocked other indications, further hindering the operators from identifying the actual problem. One of the most significant outcomes of the 3 Mile Island accident was the public fear that arose for all nuclear power plants. Construction of some new plants was halted. Plans for some newer plants were scrapped. And the majority of the public began to fear nuclear power and the radiation that may be released in case of another accident. Another change in nuclear power was the training. It was determined in the committee commission report that the training should not end when operators get their license, but should be ongoing to maintain the level of knowledge necessary to safely operate a power plant. Control room simulators should also be used more adequately to train control room personnel in all types of events. Looking at this picture, you can see just a small portion of the control room of 3 Mile Island, and you can tell how many indications, alarms, warnings, and controls are in the control room. So, operators became quickly overwhelmed and lost control of the situation on that fateful day. 3 Mile Island was definitely a severe accident, and it brought changes that are still in effect today. Operators today continue their training and learn from past events at not only their plant, but others as well. Procedural changes were also put into place to keep an accident like this from happening again.
That was my portion of the presentation, and I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something from Dan, Steve, and myself, and I hope that you have a little bit greater of an understanding of how a power plant is supposed to work, what went wrong at 3 Mile Island, and how we're preventing something like Three Mile Island from happening in the future.